Hi, and welcome to our video presentation. My name is Nađa, and I will present you our work titled Real-World Wins, Micro-Challenges to Promote Balance Post-Smartphone Overload. We carried out this work at the LMU University in Munich, Germany. I would like to start this presentation with a feeling that might be familiar to many. You're sitting or laying somewhere with your smartphone in your hand and you scroll and tap, maybe then go to your home screen, then tap, then scroll again. You're somehow fed up with your smartphone at this moment, but you just cannot stop. You cannot break out of this digital tunnel. Can you relate to this feeling? Some call it smartphone overload, and it can have severe consequences for your mental and physical health, such as experiencing digital stress, anxiety, and even burnout in the long run, as well as temporary blurred vision and pain in the wrists or neck, fatigue, tired eyes, headaches, or eroded sleep quality in the long term, respectively. Related work in HCI and the market have proposed several solutions to break out of the digital tunnel, with some examples listed on this slide. On the left-hand side, there's Apple's screen time limit. This feature reminds you that your self-set time of using a certain application is up, a premise similar to Hinneke et al.'s My Time in the Middle. More recent works, such as Cho et al.'s on the right-hand side, propose slightly different approaches. For example, the upper figure uses reflection on time already spent, and the lower figure proposes reflection on an action after smartphone use. In all these cases, though, the user is left to self-decide on what to do next, which is where our work takes place. Instead of, for example, time limits, we propose the concept of wins, small challenges to be done in the physical world in order to encourage exiting the digital tunnel and to provide a refreshing break. Just like a breeze of fresh air, so to regain balance between the digital and physical world. We developed wins within 5 categories. First, relaxation, such as get up, stretch yourself, open a window, and take a deep breath. What does the air smell like? Next, mental. Find 3 things in the space around you that bring you joy. Which things did you find and why? Third, social, such as think of a funny experience and talk about it with a person you associate it with. Did the person add something up to that memory? Next is physical. Go to the other side of the room. How many steps did it take? And finally, organization. That is chores. Close your eyes and think of what you would like to eat next. What has to be the first step in order to eat that? We developed 85 challenges in total, with the goal of them being smart. Small, measurable, applicable, realistic, and timely. None of the challenges should take longer than 5 minutes to complete. To deliver wins to users, we developed the mobile app Real-World Wins. The app is written in Kotlin for Android. It uses a foreground service to track data necessary for wins delivery. After 12 minutes of uninterrupted smartphone use time, or after 6 unlocks within 30 minutes, the app sends a notification with a challenge. The user can reply to the challenge directly in the notification itself. Furthermore, the user can exchange the challenge or cancel it. An alternative way is for the user themselves to ask for a challenge in the app's main screen by pressing the Give Me a Challenge button in the upper part. The history of completed challenges is shown in the lower part of the main screen. If the user has a challenge ongoing, the button gets replaced by the currently active challenge, which also offers a reply text field. Action button 5 is a snooze function. The user can at any time snooze the delivery of challenges with a self-set time frame. Action button 6 leads to adding one's own challenge as seen in screen 4 on this slide. We ran an exploratory field study of real-world wins with 25 participants aged between 19 and 41 years. 56% were students. We recruited participants via our university's mailing list and convenience sampling. Each participant filled out a pre-study questionnaire, after which we provided a download link for the app with further instructions. After 1 week of using real-world wins, participants received a post-study questionnaire. As recent related work advocates to design for balanced smartphone use, we opted to measure perceived balance, which we named smartphone life balance, and enjoyment, that is, the interaction's hedonic quality. However, current subjective smartphone use scales for the most part focus on the negative aspects of technology use. We thus employed our own set of questions based on 1. Mutual influence of technology use and users' real-world activities, 2. User sense of agency and autonomy over technology use, and 3. The classic smartphone use screen time. After each challenge, we employed experience sampling to investigate how well the challenge helped in balancing as well as how enjoyable the challenge was. For cancelled or exchanged challenges, we asked for the reason behind the action. Over the 1-week study, the Real World Wind app recorded 693 challenge features interactions. 69% of the interactions were triggered by an overload notification. Participants completed 449 challenges, that is, 18 challenges daily on average. This figure shows the distribution of completed challenges across the categories, with most completed challenges, 30%, being of the mental category. The median time it took participants to complete a challenge was 2.6 minutes, as the figure on the left-hand side depicts. Over the course of a 24-hour window, procentually most challenges were completed between 5 and 7 p.m. Whereas 23 participants canceled 119 challenges, with dominant 31% being of the physical category, participants exchanged 101 challenges in total, most of which were of the social category, that is 37%. The figure on this slide shows the distribution of the reasons for canceling or exchanging challenges, with current circumstances allowing no challenge execution being cited most often. In 62 cases, participants had no desire to execute the challenge. Other reasons were feeling no overload, having no time, or finding the challenge either difficult or boring to execute. We investigated the overall effectiveness of challenges in encouraging balance and the enjoyment in executing them. Both for effectiveness on the left-hand side and enjoyment on the right-hand side, participants' median of responses to the positively framed questions is at slight agreement or better. The median value for the negative questions on boredom and annoyance in the enjoyment set of questions is at slight disagreement or worse. The enjoyment of the challenges was reflected in the statements of 68% of the participants, mostly due to the creative and versatile nature of the challenges. We compare live smartphone balance scores before and after the 1-week field deployment of real-world wins. We calculated a summarizing score with strongly disagree being a 1 and strongly agree a 7. Questions 1 and 5 are reverted. The average score before starting the study was 26.96. The average scores after completing the study were 31.44. This means that real-world win manages to increase participants' perceived live smartphone balance by 16.6%. A Wilcoxon test shows a statistically significant difference before and after using real-world wins for a week. This figure shows the pre-post difference across all 7 Likert scale questions. We analyzed differences in challenge categories by inspecting answers to both post-challenge experience sampling questionnaires as well as the post-study subjective ranking of challenge categories. A series of Kruskal-Wallis tests on the answers from the experience sampling questionnaires show that there is a significant influence of the category on perceived awareness, balance, enjoyment, and happiness after executing a challenge. This figure bears several interesting findings combined with participants' qualitative statements. First, participants ranked challenge categories for the criteria of enjoyment and effectiveness in encouraging balance similarly, except for the categories mental and physical exercise. According to qualitative statements, the category physical exercise offers the clearest cut between the digital and physical world, but there are people to whom a sudden physical movement is way out of their comfort zone. On the other hand, mental provides the highest enjoyment, but some participants find it difficult to tackle the void of doing nothing. Second, organizing tasks were generally more unpopular and ineffective in achieving balance, as many organizing tasks have moved to the digital world. For example, creating to-do lists and managing appointments. Yet, some participant statements point to a snowballing effect. Once the initial spark of starting an uncomfortable task, such as cleaning, is ignited, participants feel motivated to do more. Thus, organizational wins potentially encourage initial achievements that foster further motivation. Third, social activities were the least popular with participants, as half of them ranked it last and exchanged most challenges of this category, as we have seen on slide 29. Tasks in this category often involve proactively checking in with a friend or family member, meaning the agency of the challenge execution was not in participants' hands only anymore. They make themselves dependent on the cooperation of a contact. For many participants, this was a too big intrusion of their comfort zone, adding stress to introverts or people who have a hard time with social interactions. Yet, one participant praised the category for specifically encouraging leaving the comfort zone. Indeed, once completed, social activity challenges promote the highest enjoyment, happiness, and balance compared to other categories. Moreover, as previous research suggests, uncomfortable interactions, actions, and feedback can create comparably powerful experiences as pragmatic or enjoyable interactions. So what are our main takeaways? Real-world win supports the hedonic value of smartphones while promoting balance with the real world. We saw on the example of the social category that we need a balance between wins for staying within the comfort zone and wins that encourage users to leave their comfort zone. For future work, we first propose validating our measurement scale, and second, including more appropriate delivery timing of challenges, since we, for simplicity reasons, opted for a smartphone level intervention instead of an app level or even feature level. Thank you so much for watching.